Storm Harvey rears its ugly head over southeast Texas. Heavy rain and massive flooding. Rescue efforts are underway.
And Harvey hangs on while the catastrophic flooding is ongoing to our west. Rain chances increase today locally. What you can expect coming up.
And where to play. LSU season opener looking for a new location as Harvey swamps Houston.
Any problem spots on the roadways this morning? We'll talk traffic straight ahead.
Now, from WBRZ News 2, this is Tune In.
It's 5 a.m. Good morning, South Louisiana. We're glad you can tune in on this Monday, August 28th. I'm John Pastor.
Good morning. I'm Mallory Pullen here with Josh Eaches and Ashley Fruget.
Good morning.
Josh, it's been a busy weekend for you.
Rough weekend. Hard to watch what's going on over in Houston. We went through it last year, and this could be worse than that, what they're dealing with. So Harvey continues to be a tropical storm, has moved back over the western Gulf of Mexico, and it's a system we're going to keep an eye on for the next several days as it could affect our weather.
Absolutely. Josh, thank you very much. We'll check in with you all in just a second. But rescues continued throughout the night in Houston to get people out of flooded homes. Officials are asking the public for help, saying they need more boats for rescues as roads have turned into rivers.
Many residents are being plucked from their rooftops, some by Coast Guard helicopters. The mayor of Houston is asking for patience as it will take days to get people to dry ground.
Just discussed this a moment ago, but Harvey still a tropical storm with 40-mile-per-hour winds. Center of circulation is really not wrapped in rain, but is just passing to the southeast of the Texas coast, southeast of Houston, I should say. A couple of heavy rain bands still out there, one training northward right towards the Texas-Louisiana border. All of these red boxes indicate areas under flash flood warnings and flash flood emergencies. And southwest Louisiana hit pretty hard overnight last night, and we can see issues continue to increase there today. Do see a stream of showers and thunderstorms coming inland from the Gulf of Mexico, and we will have some rounds of rain today, heavy at times, and areas to the west of the Mississippi River are under a flash flood watch as a result. Yesterday, we just saw kind of a steady rain, nice soaking rain, but nothing terribly out of control. Exceptions closer to the coast, St. Mary Parish picking up over an inch of rain. Elsewhere remained beneath an inch of rain. Could see some locally higher amounts in the coming days here, but generally light rain across the forecast area right now from southwest Mississippi through the I-12 corridor and southward along I-10 as well. Here's Futurecast in high resolution. You can see activity may pick up today. And again, the rain could be heavy at times. An inch or two is certainly possible where the heaviest thunderstorms set up. And then as we move towards the evening hours, should see activity start to fizzle a little bit. 74 is the current temperature in St. Francisville, and temperatures will not be able to move much today on account of showers and thunderstorms and cloud cover. Probably the upper 70s, as good as we do midday, would be the most favorable time period for some locally heavy rain. So our forecast highlighting 79 degrees in the Baton Rouge area with just about all of us picking up measurable rain today. And again, wouldn't be surprised with an isolated location or two receiving 2, maybe 3 inches of rain for the 24-hour period. And as I mentioned, a flash flood watch until 7 o'clock for parishes west of the Mississippi River. We have to see how today and tomorrow play out. This could be extended a little bit farther to the east. So important to stay in touch with the forecast. Still, we're not out of the woods yet, but certainly relatively in good shape compared to what's happening just to our west. All right, that's weather for now. Let's get an update on traffic this morning with Ashley Fruget.
Thanks, Josh. Certainly thinking about our neighbors in Texas this morning. Well, turning over to traffic right now, we have a clear drive, no major problem spots. Just about 10 minutes ago, there was an accident blocking the left lane, I-10 westbound at Acadian, but that has quickly cleared up. And due to that accident, there were no residual delays, so we just have a 4-minute drive from the 1012 up towards the I-10. 110 speeds are around 60 miles an hour in that area. I-12 looks good, too. You can see all the way through. We're seeing no problems if you were leaving Denham Springs through the Walker area, Livingston, Frost. No problems there. Eastbound, also westbound towards Baton Rouge looks good too. How about Ascension? Well, the highways and byways are quiet at this time. Highway 30 and 73 look good. Let's take a look outside I-10. This is where we did have that accident. It was blocking the left lane right at Acadian, and you can see here there's a nice flow of traffic and no problem. So let's go ahead and toss it back to news.
Over southeast Texas and remains unpredictable at this point. Louisiana officials aren't taking any chances.
Yeah, Governor John Bel Edwards sent a letter to President Donald Trump requesting that he declare an emergency disaster for the state of Louisiana. The initial declaration would be granted for these 5 parishes of southwest part of the state. More parishes will be added to the list if needed. Governor Edwards is not taking this storm lightly.
No, he's not. He says the storm could still pose a threat to the state. Tune In's Michael Vincento joins us live from GOSET this morning with the latest on the governor's concerns. Michael, what do we know so far?
Mallory, in a statement released yesterday, the governor said exactly what Josh just reiterated. It's critically important for the people of Louisiana to realize that we are not out of the woods just yet. And the governor also asked that people stay tuned to their local news for any updates and for the forecast if it does change, to stay tuned for that. Now, in addition to advising the people of Louisiana of just that, the governor also said that personnel from Louisiana has already been dispatched to Texas to help, including with search and rescue efforts. 12 years ago, during Katrina, Texas opened their doors and their arms to the people of Louisiana. And last year, during the flood, Texas personnel was dispatched here as well. So the governor said we will be there to help them in any way we can. Now that information came yesterday from the governor. We'll hear from him again. He'll be briefed at 11 o'clock right here at GOSEP. There's going to be a press conference happening at noon. Stay tuned for those details. We'll have them coming up today at News 2 at noon. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Michael, for that live report. Well, East Baton Rouge Mayor President Sharon Weston Broome says she's offering whatever help she can to Texas residents. The mayor says her office has reached out to their local and state partners to assist the Lone Star State where needed. In East Baton Rouge and other parishes, sand and sandbags are still available. We have a list of where you can pick those up on our website, WBRZ.com.
Now to Houston, where thousands of people are now displaced because of Harvey. Rescue crews are in the area getting people out as the water rises. News 2's Mark Armstrong is in Houston with more on the efforts to save lives.
Hundreds of dramatic rescues throughout Sunday in the Houston region. There were so many people calling for help, first responders said they couldn't keep up. The devastation started early in the morning with dozens of motorists stranded on Houston's interstates.
Well, I'm going to try to go get my brother-in-law. He's stranded some further down, so I was going to go through here. But there's a car stuck right there, so that's going to make me a little bit longer.
By daybreak, it was clear that many had lost their vehicles from the relentless tropical downpours that continued throughout the day. Houston's 610 loop turned into a dead-end road on both ends of it. The trapped motorists drove dangerously into oncoming traffic as they tried to escape. The nonstop rain overtopped the bayous, filling up downtown's highways and underpasses like they were a series of swimming pools.
A week ago, this was beautiful, cars coming and going, you know, everyone going about their day. Now everyone's on a halt.
Water poured into City Hall's garage basement and even took out one of Houston's main TV stations.
So how long do you think that door will hold?
The human suffering so severe here that volunteers with Louisiana's Cajun Navy are mounting their own relief efforts in the area.
Our guys, they didn't hesitate. Just a minute ago, I looked, I think I have over 400 messages. I'm trying to respond to as many as I can.
It's badly needed as more rain in the coming days is only expected to make things much worse.
Mark Armstrong reporting this morning in Houston, and more members of the Cajun Navy will head to Texas later today. Well, college football returns this week, but LSU season opener against BYU will likely be moved because of Harvey. Game was originally scheduled to be played in Houston. LSU has no control over where the game is played. It's up to NRG Stadium in Houston and ESPN. Now, we understand the Superdome in New Orleans is offering its facility. A new location could be announced very soon, and of course, we'll keep you posted. Looking ahead, LSU head coach Ed Ogeron will hold his first weekly press luncheon of the season. Saturday's game location definitely will be a hot topic in that one. Press luncheon begins at 11:30, and following Coach O, players will get a chance to address the media.
Well, still to come on this Monday, Harvey horrors will head back to Houston, where the water continues to rise this morning.
And a local hero back serving and protecting. He was wounded in the Baton Rouge police ambush, but now he's bounced back doing what he loves. An update on Bruce Simmons also coming up. But right now it is 5:09 on this Monday morning, 75 degrees outside. Don't go anywhere. Tune in, just getting started.
Your Monday morning is starting off in the middle 70s in the capital city. We have 73 in Lake Charles and 80 degrees in New Orleans, where the temperatures are right now. Don't expect much movement through the day thanks to a lot of cloud cover and rain from Tropical Storm Harvey.
Thanks, Josh. Of course, when we hit those moments of heavy rain, the interstates certainly do back up at that time, so keep that in mind.
All right, Ashley, thank you very much. Well, President Trump is back at the White House this morning after monitoring the latest developments in the country from Harvey.
Yeah, that's right. He will visit Texas tomorrow to see the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey and the damage it's causing now as a tropical storm. ABC's Arlette Saenz has more on his visit.
Good morning. President Trump is facing a defining moment as he deals with the first major natural disaster since taking office. President Trump back at the White House as the remnants of Hurricane Harvey bear down on Texas.
Mr. President, what's your message to the people of Texas?
The president spent the weekend monitoring the hurricane via video conference from Camp David. Hurricane Harvey marks a major test 7 months into the Trump presidency. From the flood-ravaged region, the Texas governor is offering words of praise for the president's response.
We could not be more appreciative of what the federal government has done from the president on down.
The president is touting the great coordination, tweeting, "We have an all-out effort going and going well." But as Harvey pummeled Texas, he also turned to other Twitter topics, ranging from the border wall to his election victory in Missouri and even his pardon of controversial Sheriff Joe Arpaio. President Trump said he wanted to travel to Texas as soon as he could without causing disruption. The White House says that trip will happen on Tuesday. Arlette Saenz, ABC News, Washington.
Well, new this morning, the remains of all 10 missing sailors from the USS John S. McCain have been recovered. The naval destroyer collided with an oil tanker near Singapore last week. An investigation is ongoing into the crash, and the commander of the U.S. Pacific Fleet was dismissed. Well, a probable cause hearing is expected today in Flint, Michigan over the city's toxic water. 4 former city officials face charges in the drinking water crisis. High levels of lead were found in the city's water supply 2 years ago because water from the Flint River was not treated for corrosion for more than a year.
There's a new Confederate monument up in an Alabama county. The monument is at the Confederate Veterans Memorial Park in Crenshaw County. It's about an hour outside of Montgomery. Now, this monument is the third on the private property. Television crews were not allowed at Sunday's unveiling ceremony. Organizers say the monument is not about division.
As far as we're concerned here at Confederate Veteran Memorial Park, that there's nothing racist about us. We're not white supremacists. This is for whites, blacks, the Indians, all that fought for the Confederacy.
Well, in the future, park owners are hoping to add another project to the park, specifically a display for the Confederate Navy. Former LSU Tiger Eric Reed is still supporting the movement of not standing during the national anthem. San Francisco 49er kneeled last night during his team's preseason game against the Minnesota Vikings. You may recall Reed also took a knee when then teammate Colin Kaepernick last season.
Well, technology has been a very vital part of response to the disaster along the Texas Gulf Coast.
From Facebook check-in to Red Cross text, ABC's Candace and Linda have all the details in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Facebook's safety check is on in Houston.
People in Harvey's path can mark themselves safe on the site. They can also check on possible ways to help victims.
And the Safe function also allows users to check on friends in the area to see if they're okay. And you can also donate $10 to the Red Cross relief efforts. Just text Harvey to 90999.
And when you do, the charity will then ask for your zip code to confirm your donation, or you can go to redcross.org and make a contribution there, including larger amounts. And you can also donate through Apple's iTunes in amounts ranging from $5 to $200.
Yeah, Apple says it'll donate 100% of the money to the American Red Cross. Apple has had similar donation campaigns for other natural disasters. And many celebrities, including Kevin Hart, is calling on his celebrity friends to donate.
They're stepping up. Those are your Tech Bites.
Have a great day.
The headlines on Tropical Storm Harvey for the Baton Rouge area. 3 to 6 inches of rain expected through Friday. Some locally higher amounts may occur where those isolated downpours set up. The highest amounts are going to be south and west of Baton Rouge. Closer to the coast, St. Mary Parish needs to stay on alert as up to 10 inches could fall over the next several days.
Thanks, Josh, for all that important information. Well, right now we're going to talk about traffic, and we can see there is a slowdown on Highway 30. Right now we're seeing yellow on the map, basically from I-10 as you're traveling towards Highway 73. I know a lot of plant workers head to Geismar in the mornings, and that's why we have that slowdown. Right now your Plaquemine Ferry is in service, no trouble with that. And at 5:30, another boat will be on the water to help with the commute. Let's go ahead and take a look outside and check out I-10 and 12, and we're seeing no problems on 10. Here, there was an accident a little bit past this morning, I-10 at Acadian. Didn't really do much to the commute. No problems over in Prairieville, and I-12 around O'Neill is looking good. Same story for your bridge. So let's go ahead and toss it back to Mallory and JP.
All right,
Thank you, Ashley. The nation's fourth largest city and surrounding areas are dealing with the epic flooding due to Tropical Storm Harvey.
Flooding in Houston is being called unprecedented, and with more on the way. As much as 50 inches of rain has already fallen. ABC's
Natasha Barrett has the very latest from Houston.
Rescues continued throughout the night in Houston, the country's fourth largest city in crisis.
The water came up so fast. It was incredible.
Emergency management officials are asking the public for help, saying they need more boats for rescues as roads have turned into rivers. The geography in Houston not helping the situation. Rainwater is forced onto streets, then onto small bayous, easily overwhelmed by heavy downpours. First responders are stretched so thin, neighbors are pitching in to help rescue others from the devastating floodwaters that followed Hurricane Harvey.
First time in 40 years that the water's come up this high. We've been here for 40 years. A lot of storms.
Other desperate residents are being plucked from their rooftops, some by Coast Guard helicopters. Choppers from as far away as San Diego and Cape Cod have joined in rescue efforts.
That person's on their roof. They've been yelling help and hello for the last few minutes.
Many residents having trouble getting through to 911 as the system has been overrun with thousands of calls. Residents are being told not to call unless the situation is life-threatening.
We need help in Fifth Ward. We need people here to evacuate people. Get people here now before they die.
The city's mayor asking for patience. Many of those already rescued from the floodwaters left with nothing.
It's like memories that get taken away by something that you don't expect. But I mean, it's all just materialistic stuff.
The other thing that's happening today and a lot of people are frightened about are mandatory and voluntary evacuations in places that people thought would never happen before. They thought they would be able to stay put. So people are monitoring websites and trying to figure out how they're going to get out of their neighborhoods right now. Reporting from Houston, Natasha Barrett, ABC News.
It's an eerily all too familiar sight.
Yeah, it reminds you of a lot of those images of Katrina. And it's incredible. It's almost like Houston's perfect storm.
Yeah. Prayers for them. Well, coming up, more on Harvey. We'll check in with several crews in Houston this morning as the rescues continue.
Plus, where will LSU and BYU play? Could it be the Superdome? We'll have the latest on that also coming up. But right now, it is 5:29 on this very busy Monday morning. 76 degrees outside. Hey, the second half hour of Tune In starts next.
You're watching Tune In on WBRZ.
Good morning and thanks for tuning in on this Monday, August 28th. I'm Mallory Pullen.
Good morning. I'm John Panstrek, and our top story, Harvey hanging over Houston. At least 5 deaths have been reported due to the storm as thousands are in need of rescuing from the rising waters. Harvey made landfall Friday near Corpus Christi as a Category 4 hurricane, but has since stalled over the Houston area as a tropical storm. The White House says President Trump will go to Texas tomorrow to see the devastation firsthand.
Heading into Labor Day weekend, you will be paying more to fill up because of Harvey. Platforms and oil rig shutdowns are as Harvey moved land. Well, that pushed prices higher. Gas pump prices could jump 5 to 15 cents a gallon, but should return to normal soon. Most of the increases are expected to be seen in southeastern, and mid-Atlantic states.
Quiet start to your Monday morning. Nothing like Houston, but things could change for parts of southwest Louisiana.
Yeah, we need to continue to monitor the forecast really for the next 2 days here as the potential still exists for some heavy rain. It does appear as though the largest impacts are going to continue to be felt west of our area. You can see Tropical Storm Harvey has 40-mile-per-hour winds and is just beginning to reemerge in the northwestern Gulf of Mexico. This scenario has had many questions coming our way over the last couple of days, but I can tell you even in doing this, not a whole lot of additional strengthening is expected. Some dry air beginning to wrap into this system, which tends to inhibit strengthening on tropical systems. So it will wobble in the western Gulf for just another day or two before making a second landfall to the southeast of Houston and lifting north from there. But pockets of heavy rain remain on the eastern side of the center of circulation, and you do see that flash flood warnings and emergencies continue in southeast Texas and now southwestern Louisiana. The Lake Charles area is really taking it on the chin, and some of that heavy rain could extend a little bit farther eastward over the Atchafalaya Basin close enough once again that I think we need to continue to pay attention to this, because a minor shift in that heavy rain in our direction could cause some problems. So right now it still appears as though we'll get through this one. Satellite radar view shows us some rain a little heavier just to the south of Interstate 10 has weakened as it's cut inland over the last few minutes here, and we do see the heaviest right now south of Lafayette, and a flash flood watch is up for those parishes just to the west of the Mississippi River as a result of that heavy rain from Tropical Storm Harvey. So be alert to that, especially if you'll be leaving the Baton Rouge area westward toward Lafayette. 75 is the temperature this morning. Will not change much today thanks to clouds and showers. Temperatures might try to climb into the upper 70s. That's about it. I'd say think about caution on the roads throughout the day today, as you might encounter some pockets of heavier rain, which, as Ashley will tell you, does tend to slow things down pretty quickly. Weather and health today, that's always the trade-off. No problems with that when the weather is unsettled. Let's leave you with some good news today. The dog days of summer do continue, and Belle is our featured pooch looking for a home this week. You can visit her at the Adoption House on Highland Road, and for more about our campaign, go ahead and visit WBRZ.com. We'll talk more about Harvey in a couple of minutes. Now Ashley Fruget has traffic.
Thanks, Josh. Well, traffic right now is nice and quiet, so we're seeing no major problems, no accidents or breakdowns to start off your Monday morning drive. So we're seeing an easy drive also on Highway 30. Now, right now it's green, but I could tell you it's going to turn back to yellow soon. We do have some congestion there traveling towards Geismar this morning. Drive times look good on I-10, though. Just a 16-minute drive coming in from Gonzales, about 12 minutes or so coming in from Prairieville. So let's take a look outside and get your live check of some major spots. So right now, that LA1 exit ramp crossing over the river here is, of course, the new bridge. All of the bridge looks good this morning. Now, here's the west side from 415 to the bridge, about a 5-minute drive or so. Those lights there, that's going to be this right here. So you can see no problems also on I-10. A couple of sprinkles on the cameras already. So as Josh mentioned, we could see some heavy rain. Take that into account. Might take you longer to get home from work today. All right, let's toss you back to news.
All right, thank you, Ashley. Governor Edwards says the people of Louisiana need to remain vigilant in the wake of Harvey.
Yeah, he says the storm still poses a threat to the state. 2 News' Michael Vincento is live at GOSEP this morning with the very latest from the governor. Michael, good morning. So what is the governor's schedule today? When are we going to hear from him?
Well, JP, we're going to hear from the governor around noon today, but I want to tell you what he said yesterday in a statement that he released. He said that it is critically important for the people here in Louisiana to realize that we are not out of the woods just yet, and he asked that everyone stay tuned to their local news and the local meteorologists for those updates as the forecast might change. Now, in addition to advising the people of Louisiana to be vigilant, the governor also said that personnel from Louisiana has already been dispatched to Texas to help, including in search and rescue efforts. 12 years ago, during Katrina, Texas opened their doors to the people of Louisiana, and last year during the flood, Texas personnel was dispatched here as well. The governor said we will be there to help Texas in any way that we can. Now, like I mentioned a moment ago, that came yesterday. We will hear from the governor again today. He will be briefed at 11 o'clock right here at GOSEP. And they'll have a press conference immediately following, happening at noon. We'll have that aired live right here on News 2 at noon. Back to you.
You got it, Mike. Thanks for that live report. Well, once Harvey passes, more volunteers will head to Texas to help in the aftermath. The American Red Cross is offering training to Louisiana residents looking to lend a helping hand. The Red Cross responds to nearly 64,000 disasters every year, and they say that these training classes show people who want to help what they need to know when the time comes.
We just want to push for safety, making sure that everybody's families are prepared in the event that things do take a change as far as Harvey's path, and just making sure year-round that you and your family are always prepared for any kind of emergency or disaster.
If you're interested, there's a training scheduled today from 9 a.m. to 12:30.
A local church forced out of their main sanctuary during the August 2016 flood is back. For the first time in more than a year, it was a packed house Sunday morning at Bethany Church in Baker. The flood caused $3 million in damage, and the church did not have any flood insurance. With volunteer labor and donations, Bethany is now fully restored.
It's a total miracle that we were able to revitalize this facility, 150,000 square feet, and a lot of it was 3 to 4 feet underwater.
And when we saw the damage, naturally we were devastated, but we knew that this church was very resilient, has been over the years, and we knew that we would come back one day.
Well, even while dealing with its own problems, Bethany also helped raise money for other churches damaged in the flood. Happening today, a popular bar in Tigerland is set to reopen. Reggie's has been closed for more than a month. This comes after the Office of Alcohol and Tobacco Control pulled the bar's license after 37 people were arrested, many underage.
An East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's deputy injured during last summer's ambush on police officers in Baton Rouge is doing what he loves. The Sheriff's Office shared this video of Lieutenant Bruce Simmons on Facebook. There's Bruce right there. It shows him patrolling on his motorcycle. They say during his recovery, Simmons was able to come back and score more than 90% on his final motorist testing. So congratulations to him. It's great to see him back on that motorcycle. Well, it was all about the love of music at Southern University last night. High school bands from across the state performed at the F.G. Clark Activity Center to impress the crowd, including bands from Plaquemine, Scotlandville, and Northeast High School. It's for the Louisiana High School Battle of the Bands. Check these out.
Would have been fun to see. Well, looking ahead to the weekend, hunters across Louisiana will get a chance to save on items. Every year, the first weekend in September is dedicated to your Second Amendment rights. It's one of the few tax holidays that exempts you from both state and local taxes. The Second Amendment weekend sales tax holiday runs Friday through Sunday.
Well, coming up at 2, it continues. Harvey continues to flood Texas, now headed back into the Gulf. What it means for South Louisiana? Josh is tracking Harvey again this morning.
And Harvey's putting a damper on the Tiger season opener in Houston. Where will LSU play BYU? We'll get you answers also coming up. But right now it is 5:40 on your Monday and 75 degrees. Don't go away. We have more Tune In right after the break.
Your Monday morning begins at 75 degrees in the Baton Rouge area. It's also 75 in Hammond, New Roads, Macomb, and Gonzales. Numbers that are not going to budge too much today thanks to cloud cover and some periods of rain and thunder.
Thank you, Josh. Well, traffic right now looks good. The map is all green behind me. No major spots of any slow traffic. So let's go ahead and take a look outside and get your live check around town. So here's the bridge. So far, so good with the bridge. No problems traveling across the river to the west side, or if you just came from there, no problems also towards I-110, towards the airport.
Heads to Texas tomorrow to get a first-hand look at the devastating damage caused by now Tropical Storm Harvey.
Yeah, the storm stalled over the southeastern part of the state, dumping heavy rain, leaving images like this. And much of the Houston area is underwater this morning with a lot of rain and no relief in sight. Rescue operations are still underway to get people out of their flooded homes. Officials are reporting at least 5 deaths so far from the storm.
The images from Harvey out of Texas are a reminder of the devastation here in Louisiana during Hurricane Katrina.
Emotions are running high, especially for those who lived through Katrina nearly 12 years ago. People that went through that storm remember the high water and rooftop rescues. Experts say the feelings are normal and you're experiencing flashbacks and anxiety. Take a break from all the images.
One of my coworkers who also went through Katrina, he said he was having flashbacks, just remembering exactly what happened, and you know he had to have a moment simply because it was emotional for him to know that somebody else is going through such a traumatic experience.
Certainly the pictures on television can make people feel very frightened again, and also can make them feel anxious. You can have difficulty sleeping, you can have nightmares, and that response is quite normal.
Well, the experts encourage reaching out and visiting friends in Houston when it's safe to do so. Wow. Those images, they just remind you so much.
What I feel bad for are the people who evacuated New Orleans, moved to Houston, and that's still going on. More Tune In right after this. Don't go away. Well, JP, do you smell that? It's football in the air. Game week is here, Tiger fans, and we're getting you fired up for this season by looking back at some of the top plays from last season.
We are ready for some football. We call them Tiger Stripes, and the first one is historic, when Darius went hog wild against the Hogs.
Tiger fans, take a look at the longest touchdown run in LSU history. Darius Geis puts on the burners, takes off on a 96-yard touchdown run. Even speedy Arkansas defenders can't catch him.
No slouch. Geis takes it to the house. when you look at him run and the way he keeps that speed for that long, you talk about the conditioning. And that, to me, is what makes Darius Guice stand out. Leonard Fournette talked about it when they were on the team together the last couple of years, was him kind of motivating Darius and Darius kind of pushing him from a weightlifting and conditioning standpoint.
Guice had a monster night. 21 carries, 252 yards, and 2 touchdowns, as the Tigers hog-tied the Hogs 38-10.
I think he is a gentleman that whenever the ball's in his hands, there's always that chance. The defensive coordinator on the other side knows when he touches it, this could go bad.
So Darius Guice gets a Tiger stripe for that historic run against Arkansas. And on our next report, a Tiger combination you're going to see a lot of this season. Danny to DJ for 6. As we continue countdown to kickoff with the top Tiger plays of 2016.
And a 4 a.m. advisory on Tropical Storm Harvey shows a storm that is about to once again enter the Gulf of Mexico. Here's actually.
Thanks, Josh. Back to normal sounds pretty good. Well, you might be going back to school or work this morning, and our roadways are nice and quiet, so no need to worry about any major accidents or breakdowns. We do have some slowdowns on Ashland Road, so we're going to see that traveling southbound this morning on 3251.
Actually, still to come, our second hour of Tune In with more news, weather, and traffic.
But first, it's time to honor America with the Daily Pledge, and to lead us this morning, some patriotic first graders in Mrs. Basso's class at Tanglewood Elementary.
WBRZ News 2 and the Baton Rouge Clinic are proud to bring you the Daily Pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all.
Join us weekday mornings on Channel 2 for another local schools reciting of the Pledge of Allegiance.